Hello everyone, glad to be back. Today is 5th of April, now it's 10:30 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my channel in which I share latest updates on the news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. There are quite a few very significant developments and news that I like to share with you for this moment. But before I start, let me once again emphasize how grateful I am for your time, attention and support. It truly does mean a lot to me, so thank you very much. Now let's talk about news, and I will start today with Israel and Palestine because late afternoon yesterday and during the night time some heavy clashes did take place there, and we have RIA Novosti's report that Israel's police did arrest about 350 people in and around Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. I did share on my Telegram channel video footage of clashes between the sides, and as you can see, that's as I understand happening in premises of Al-Aqsa Mosque, maybe even inside it. Some horrifying footage, really, and yes, big escalation between Israel and Palestine. Once again, because of these actions of Israel's police, Palestinians Hamas organization did launch missiles in direction of Israeli cities, and even though Iron Dome air defense system of Israel did work as it usually does, some missiles did go through these defense systems, and that's a result of it. This has happened in Sderot city. So some dramatic events have taken place in Israel. We have also information that during the night time, Air Force of Israel did strike some positions of Hamas. As you know, Hamas is in charge. Basically, its main political and military power in Gaza Strip. And according to this news, not just Israeli Air Force, but also Israeli ground forces, especially tankers, did open fire in direction of Hamas positions or buildings that are held by Hamas. Big escalation. And as I was saying yesterday, aggressive policies of Israel. And as you know, during the previous 4 or 5 days, Israel were, for example, bombing Syria on daily basis, and there were some casualties, including among civilians. And Israel was, as I understand, especially were targeting pro-Iranian groups that are fighting against terrorists in Syria, and that's possibly one of the reasons why this kind of escalation now happening in Israel and Palestine. I don't think Israel should provoke Iran to become more active and use its influence to do some retaliatory strike against Israel. I don't think that's a good way to go forward for Israel, but yet again, it's not up to me. But as I said in my yesterday's update, one day we may see that Hezbollah, Lebanese political and military organization, Hezbollah will become a part of this conflict. And if that's the case, then Israel has some big trouble on its hands because previous war between Israel and Hezbollah did not end that well for Israel, uh, as I remember. And now Hezbollah is much more capable. Armored wing of Hezbollah is much more capable because they had a huge experience fighting terrorists in Syria. They have modern equipment, military equipment, majority of which was probably captured from terrorists. And as you know, terrorists in Syria were supplied by US, British secret services, some other secret services of Middle Eastern countries, and NATO member countries. Also, France, Germany, they were also active participants in that terrorist attack on Syria, which took hundreds of thousands of lives of civilians. So Hezbollah is much more capable organization today than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. And I don't think Israelis, especially Israelis, because Israel's government, they don't care. They may go to some bunkers and, but I don't think ordinary Israelis truly want this escalation in Palestine or maybe even with the Hezbollah. And that will happen eventually if Israel continues to strike Syria and to provoke Iran. This is just a logical way how this situation may develop. One of the ways, and I hope Israel is at least some people are serious enough in Israel's government, and they will calm down some crackheads, and Israel will start acting less aggressively, let's say this way. Let's continue now, and this is RIA Novosti's news. Also, as you know, yesterday, world's media, not just Russian media, but world's media was writing about arrest of Donald Trump. He was arrested for a little while before to him was presented all the charges that he is accused of. You know my position about this topic. This is a political prosecution of former president of US, and I believe majority in this world probably has the very same approach to this development. After Trump received information about all the charges, he was freed. And I did read some statements from him, and according to his team, very little chances that he will be imprisoned. But still, man, in yesterday's update, I was saying no one knows what kind of crazy move will make neoliberals. And yesterday afternoon we did see it. There was no need to arrest Trump, but they did it just for media perspective. And for very same reason, they may conduct some other crazy moves. No one knows really. They are very dangerous, and situation is quite dangerous because, as I said many times before, Trump is one of the most popular politicians in US. And his supporters will not take lightly if anything happens to him. Because everyone understands, probably among supporters of Democrat Party also, that this is a political prosecution. So now Trump is free. But as I said, anything can be expected from neoliberals. And according to some media, let's say Fox News, for example, all those allegations against Trump if he will be if he will be sentenced by all those allegations, he will receive 136 years of jail time. 136 years of jail time. So, as I said, man, this is not a joke. Neoliberals, they are basically anti-US gang now at this stage. Probably they don't really care about US national interests, about safety of US citizens, because they truly acting like enemies of the US. All those neoliberal groups, and because of it, they may provoke some internal conflict in US. They truly are dangerous, man, and no one wants this, because once again, like Russia is a nuclear superpower, and no one in sane mind should want Russia to be destabilized. Same goes for USA. USA is a nuclear superpower, and no one in good mind, in sane mind, should want destabilization and disintegration of the US. World don't need this. World needs strong US with strong and adequate leadership, with strong, adequate, and just leadership. But US, neoliberals that are in charge right now in the US, they don't want it. They are crazy as hell, man. And probably they are main danger for US national security right now. At least that's how I see that development. So let's continue now. We have Kommersant newspapers report that Zelensky did arrive in Poland today. This visit was announced, so no surprises that he visited Poland. But what I think, of course, officially they will don't say about it. But in my understanding, Zelensky may invite or may try to push Polish leadership towards open involvement in this conflict, because Zelensky knows very well it's only a matter of weeks now, and armed forces of Ukraine that are still loyal to Zelensky and his henchmen will start collapsing. It's just inevitable, especially after Bakhmut will become under full Russian control, and that's a matter of coming days, basically. And only hope Zelensky will have left, Zelensky and his Western masters, is so-called counteroffensive, announced counteroffensive in direction of Azov Sea. Let me show you that on map. That's Azov Sea, by the way, and of course we all know that West, especially Washington and London, are pushing Zelensky to conduct counteroffensive in direction of this Azov Sea, to cut this land bridge between Crimea and mainland Russia. And once this counteroffensive will fail, and it will fail, then Zelensky basically done. West will have no need in Zelensky no more after that point, and maybe Zelensky knows that, and he will now try probably to push Poland towards direct involvement right now, not later on, but right now, because Poland eventually will definitely enter this conflict. I'm absolutely sure about this, but question is, will Poland only take control over some western regions of Ukraine, including Lvov, or Poland will go further than that and strike Belarus, Kaliningrad region, and basically enter open conflict with the Russian forces? Question is about this, but it's absolutely clear that one way or another Poland will become openly involved in this conflict. Right now, after recent events, when Moscow decided to deploy tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus, I think risk is minimized. Risk of Polish attack on Belarus or Kaliningrad has been minimized, because even though elites of Poland are mad, mentally ill, basically, probably at least someone in current leadership of Poland will be sane enough to stop anyone who will push this idea to strike Belarus or Belarus and Kaliningrad region, but they will definitely enter at least western parts of Ukraine. It's 100%. And maybe Zelensky now will try to, push Poland to become part of this conflict earlier, but he will not succeed. He will be unsuccessful, 100%, because Polish secret services probably know very well from the US masters that it's not time yet. And they will probably know also that after fall of Bakhmut under full Russian control, after abysmal results for Zelensky's regime, when they will try to conduct large-scale counteroffensive in direction of this land bridge, after that counteroffensive will fail, Zelensky will be finished. And Polish secret services and probably Polish government knows that. And then they will deal with Ukraine's military, because they will take power in their hands. It's just too obvious at this point. So we can say Zelensky is done. Zelensky is already done, and no matter which country he will visit or what kind of statements he will make, he is done. He only has like month or two left, 3 maximum, and he will be gone. Let's continue now. Let's continue. Let me check how long is this video. 17 minutes. Okay. So we have a statement from official of Zaporozhye region, Vladimir Rogov, and according to him, Russian side did shut down suicide drone of Zelensky's regime in close proximity from Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. So that's quite dangerous development. Maybe it's quite possible that Zelensky's regime will yet again resume strikes on Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, especially in coming days, because as you know, forces that are loyal to Zelensky are very active and will be even more and more active in areas of Zaporozhye region and Kherson region in attempt to prepare ground for counteroffensive, this so-called counteroffensive, in direction of Azov Sea. And this activity towards Zaporozhye nuclear power plant is especially dangerous, because we are talking about nuclear power plant. I don't think suicide drones will be able to damage power plants in the way that some nuclear disaster may emerge there. Those power plants are well built, as I understand, and it's not easy to damage them. But fact itself is dangerous, that Zelensky's regime is yet again trying to strike Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. That shows you how crazy they really are. That truly shows how crazy they are. They are shelling nuclear power plant, man. That's nuclear terrorism, basically. Let's continue, and we have statement from same Rogov, so from same person, official of Zaporozhye region, and according to him, Zelensky's regime is reinforcing direction of Orekhovo and sending a great number of military personnel and military equipment. This is Arechov here on the front line right now, and yet again, this is also expectable. I don't think why they are sending forces so close to Orejo right now, because they will become easy target for Russian artillery and aviation. But maybe we are just a few days away from this anticipated by many Zelensky's counteroffensive will begin. Maybe that's why they are moving forward now towards frontline, the military equipment and personnel. So if that's the case, today is the 5th of April. Maybe we will see beginning of that counteroffensive in about 3-5 days time, maybe a little more, but in coming days. Otherwise, it's not logical to send large numbers of military equipment and personnel directly in under Russian artillery fire. So yet again, let's see how will situation develop. Let's see how will situation develop. And right now, if I may, let me. This is question time, by the way. And today I do remember a question that I was thinking to answer yesterday. But before that, let me promote my channel a little bit. Dear friends, if you think this channel is interesting and deserves to exist in this field of news and political commentary, please consider to support with small donations through PayPal or subscribe to my Patreon page. You will see links under this video in the description box. During the previous few days, if I remember correctly, 5 people did subscribe on my Patreon page, which is great. And who knows if maybe before end of this month, with your help, it will be possible to stay on this project full time. Who knows? Because I do have some hopes now, because as I said, in 2 days 5 new subscribers on Patreon page, and that's great news, because that gives you this additional information that and stability, let's say this way, additional information about funds that you can work with, and stability, because it's a monthly subscriptions, and basically you can subscribe. It's up to you. It's up to you how much you can donate to the channel, from $5 a month to, I don't know, 10, 20, 50. It depends on individual situation. But yet again, this is a hope that maybe we will survive. Maybe we will go through this month also. And if that's the case, then knows, maybe towards closer to summertime, maybe I will be able to transform this channel in so that it will become even more interesting, and maybe I will make some additional content also, not just this everyday updates about news and politics. Let's say I'm full of ideas. There are many ideas that can be done, and probably will be interesting for you. So let's see how it goes. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for your attention and support. Everything is great support. Not just donation through PayPal or subscription on Patreon page, but also view time that you are spending watching these videos, likes, comments, everything counts. Everything helps this project to develop and to become something, something how should I say, truly important is a too strong a word, but something much more interesting than it is now. Let's say it this way. And when it comes to question time, I did see many times that some of you do ask me if I delete comments on the comment sections, and my answer is no. I did delete maybe 10-15 comments for entire time since I start making English language comments, and I delete when it's obvious that some trolling has taken place. And just recently, one of you did inform me that there was someone who was posting some. He was scammer, he or she. It was some scam comments. I did not see it. I did not realize that, and I was noted by you, friends, and I did delete that. In one case, I delete. In second case, probably algorithm did delete it. In all other cases, when you did write comment and it did not shows up, that's algorithm, by the way. And I know it's difficult to deal with this because, as you know, I'm quite active on other pages, on other channels, and there are many times that I'm writing some. Yesterday, for example, I was writing about this new package of military aid of US to Zelensky's regime for $2.6 billion. It was just official information from USA, but for some reason I don't know why algorithm was deleting that comment. So it does happen, but me personally, I don't delete. I only delete when someone is too vulgar, if someone is writing some crazy stuff with heavy slang, and if someone is trolling. And as I said, since the summer, when I start making English language videos, I may delete 10-15 comments, and that's it. So no, man, I don't delete even comments that are very critical towards me, for example, because it's okay. It's okay to be, I am critical of me. Quite often I'm quite self-critical, to be honest, and I don't have an issue to see and read some critical point of view about me, about my work or my opinion. So it's okay. And as I said, man, if your comments have been deleted, that's the algorithm. So that's a question that I wanted to answer yesterday in yesterday's question time, but I forget about it. So let's continue now. And how long is this video? 28 minutes. And we have a statement from a Polish general, former head of ground forces of Poland. This is RBK News Agency reporting, and he's saying that situation on the ground in Ukraine has entered its dead end when no one side is able to achieve some crucial success on the battlefield, and Zelensky is visiting Poland now to prepare ground for future peace negotiations. I think this Polish general is mistaken, but his point of view is interesting because he's a professional military, and even though I disagree with him completely when it comes to situation on the front line, his take on reasoning behind Zelensky's visit to Poland may be quite interesting, even though I just said a few minutes ago that in my opinion Zelensky will try to provoke Poland to enter this conflict earlier than Polish elites are planning to do so. exactly because Zelensky's regime knows very well that militarily they cannot defeat Russia. They just cannot. And I disagree with the Polish general in terms of no one side is able to achieve some crucial success. No, that's not true. Russian side is defensive right now and successfully neutralizing units that are still loyal to Zelensky's regime one by one. And Bakhmut, for example, was a great attractor in that sense, where thousands and thousands of Ukrainian soldiers were neutralized, basically. And the very same may happen now in Avdiivka in a much lesser scale, but situation in direction of Avdiivka almost similar. So once Zelensky's regime will fail now in attempt to cut this land bridge, it will be Russian turn to become more active and to conduct large-scale offensive operations. So yes, when it comes to Bakhmut itself, I did share on my Telegram channel all the new information that was available. Eventually, this map did acknowledge that this part is under Russian control. I was saying this for, I don't know, a week now. But according to some sources, this part here, this eastern part, is also under Russian control. And Russian forward units are approaching this railway line. Let me show you on another map. So this is Bakhmut, by the way, and that's this railway line. And as you can see, forward units of Russian PMC Wagner units are approaching this railway line. Yesterday we had information that one of the stations was even Russian side did establish full control over the station here in the Bakhmut. And as you can see, Russian side now pushing forward from southern part, and it's only a matter of time probably, and entire this grouping here will end up in full encirclement. It depends what kind of plans basically PMC Wagner has. Maybe they will leave some window for garrison that still in Bakhmut to flee town, so that they will be destroyed by artillery. But maybe they will just encircle. Maybe they will encircle entire this grouping of Ukrainian forces in Bakhmut, what is left under their control, and neutralize them step by step. And the second option probably will be realized. And Russians will probably encircle entire this small part. Just look at it, man. Right now, that's a Bakhmut area, and right now, Zelensky's regime controls about 10-15% of the city. And concentration of Ukrainian armed forces in that small area is absolutely massive. So it will definitely take time for armed forces of Russia and PMC Wagner units to deal with this situation. Let's continue now, and that's information that I was talking about just a few minutes ago. We have confirmation from Pentagon that US will send new military aid package to Zelensky's regime. This time it's $2.6 billion worth of military equipment and ammunition. Once again, Washington is continuing to steal money from US citizens because, as we know, majority of this money will end up in accounts of military industrial complex of the US and in pockets of politicians that are pushing this constant wave of military aid to Zelensky's regime. In this package, Zelensky's regime will receive basic ammunition for 155 and 105 millimeter artillery, guns, and also ammunition for HIMARS, multi-launch rocket systems, and Patriot air defense systems. So it will not change that much on the front line. It will prolong. It's bad because it will prolong this conflict for sure. More equipment Zelensky's regime will receive, longer this conflict will continue, and there will be more death and destruction. And the US elites, Biden and his administration, are directly guilty of that. And let's continue now. This is RIA Novosti's report. Very important development in my opinion, because yesterday after I did make my update, this information was published on Russian media outlets, according to which some planes of air forces of Belarus now are modernized so that they can carry nuclear ammunition. And at the same time, a few days ago, we had information that Russian side is training pilots, Belarusian pilots, to be ready to operate with the nuclear ammunition. So this is some serious development. Yet again, I don't think that Russia is planning to use these tactical nuclear weapons that will be deployed in Belarus. But this is a warning. This is a serious warning for NATO and NATO member states to stay away from Belarus. That's Belarus, by the way. To stay away from Belarus and from Kaliningrad region. And if Western elites are saying, if at least some of them are saying, then they will stay away from Belarus and Russian Kaliningrad region. Let's continue now, and the next news that I like to share with you is about that's economical stuff. Few informations about economy, and yes, is discussing now 11th package of sanctions against Russia, and they will actively discuss this 11th package of sanctions after Easter celebration. And it's interesting what they will come up with now. They did sanction everything. What else they gonna do? They will repeatedly sanction what they already did sanctioned, or I mean, it's laughable now at this stage. All these sanction packages, it's just laughable, and that's what world probably are doing. They are laughing at EU, because this organization EU and its bureaucracy in Brussels, they become like truly clowns. It's hard to take them seriously. It was always hard to take them seriously, but especially since this escalation with Russia, you cannot take them seriously, man. It's a laughing stock, really. But yet again, in coming weeks, we will see 11th package of sanctions, and then 12th, 13th, and we will have more and more reason to laugh at EU bureaucracy. And Yes, this is going to be the last news for today's update. According to some experts, in next 10 to 20 years, fresh water may become one of the main sources of export from Russia. One of the main export commodities, and it's obvious that fresh water is at one point in the future, fresh water will may become, and it's already now in some regions, strategic reserve, strategic commodity. But when it comes to Russia, because of its vastness, and after all, Baikal, for example, biggest freshwater reservoir lake in the world, is based on in Russia, and also northern regions of Russia. I mean, they are full of ice, and the ice is basically fresh water. So yes, maybe this is maybe not in 10 years, but in 10, 20, 25 years, Russia may make more money by exporting fresh water than by export of oil, for example. That's what experts think. Maybe this is correct, I don't know. But I do understand that in next 20, 30, 50 years, water will become very, very significant reserve, fresh water. Right now we have a situation when countries are almost on edge of war because of water. Let's say Egypt and Ethiopia, for example. Because Ethiopia did build dam on the Nile River, Egypt is not happy about it, and Yemen is not really happy about it, and so water is already very, very significant commodity, and it will become even more valuable in coming decades. That's for sure. So this is it for now. I hope you will find this video interesting, and if so, please hit that like button, leave some commentary about any topic you like, and if you can, please share links to my videos or my channel with your friends on Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, or any other platform that you are active on. That will greatly increase my chances to reach wider audience, and of course I'm gonna be very grateful for this help. This is it for now. Have a nice day and take care.